15.5 minus 3.1. It means Binance borrowed me 12.4. The greatest nightmare of every cryptocurrency futures trader happens at that very point where their position gets liquidated. So every cryptocurrency futures trader is always trying to bypass liquidation, or always trying to outsmart liquidation, or always looking out for ways to see how they can curb their position not being liquidated. Hello guys, welcome to my channel, the Crypto Info and Update channel. If you are an existing subscriber, thank you for subscribing to the channel, and we welcome you again to this very episode of our video. If you are just coming across our channel for the very first time, especially you stumbled on this video in one way or the other, we want to say welcome to the channel. Alright, so please, one way you're going to support us is by subscribing to our channel. You subscribe to the channel and you like our video. Do you understand? So please kindly do that. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you click on the like button. Alright, today we're going to be dwelling on how to beat liquidation in futures trading. How to beat liquidation in futures trading. Now, before we make progress, you have to understand that spot trading make use of leverage, all right? But in futures trading, you must make use of leverage. Do you understand? There's leverage in futures trading and there's no leverage in spot trading. Now, the use of leverage makes it easier for you to make quick profits. At the same time, it makes it easier for you to make quick losses. Now, it depends. The difference now lies on you, on how you manage your risk, your trading risk. Do you understand? On how you navigate your way while trading. Do you understand? In order to curb the rate at which you lose money while trading. Okay, so let's proceed to our futures tab. The futures tab. Alright, good. If you notice, I already have a trade that is running. Doge USDT. Do you understand? Now, I intentionally ran this trade. I intentionally have this trade running because of this very video you are watching right now. I want to use it as a case study to show you something regarding liquidation. All right, so how do we get rid of the liquidation price? How do we get rid of the liquidation price? This is the liquidation price. So it means if you notice, I'm longing Doge. All right, I'm longing Doge. So if you notice, the price of Doge is falling instead of increasing, is decreasing. Now, if it falls to 0.064554, my whole position will be closed. All right. So my capital, which is 3.1 USDT, will be wiped out. Do you understand? So as it keeps falling, when it gets to 0.064554, I will be liquidated. My position will be liquidated. All right. So first, if you want to enter one thing you have to understand here is let's say you want to take a long position, because I'm dwelling on the long position in this video specifically. I'm specifically dwelling on the long position, not the short position. All right. Now, if you want to like have control over your liquidation, or you want to wipe out the liquidation price from your long position of whatever pair you are trading, you can do that. But for you to do that, first you have to make use of isolated margin. Take note of that. You have to make use of isolated margin, not cross margin. We don't use cross margin if your aim is to get rid of the liquidation price. We don't use cross margin. We only make use of isolated margin. This is isolated margin. This is isolated margin. All right, at the top. We only make use of isolated margin if your aim of that very long position you took or you're about to take is to get rid of the liquidation price, such that no matter how the trade goes against you, okay, you won't be liquidated no matter what. So if that is your aim, then you have to make use of isolated margin first. All right, now having said that, when I entered this trade, this Doge USDT, all right, if you notice, I'm using 5x leverage. Can you see that? I'm using 5x leverage. Now, what it means is, if you know, when I started, I said in spot trading there are no leverage, but in futures trading there are leverage. Okay, so what it means is this 5x leverage means it is assumed that my capital is my trading capital as a whole for this very trade of being Doge, okay, is 3.1 times 5. Do you understand? That's the work of leverage. So leverage enlarges your capital, or it increases your trading capital. Do you understand? But in sports, your capital remains the same. But in leverage, whatever capital you come with, I mean in futures trading, whatever capital you have to trade with will be made bigger by the use of leverage. Whatever capital you have will be made bigger by the use of leverage. So my trading capital for this very trade is 3.1 USDT. All right, I'm using 5S leverage. Now, that being the case, it is assumed that my capital, all right, is 3.1 times 5, which is 15.5 USDT. 15.5 USDT. So it is assumed that my capital is 15.5 USDT. Why? Because I am making use of leverage. The leverage I'm using is 5x. So if your leverage is 10x, it will be 10 times 3.1, which would be like 30 point something thereabout. Do you understand? So whatever leverage you're using, if you're using 20x, it will be 20 times whatever capital, whatever trading capital you are using. Like in this case now, it's 3.1, so it will be 20 times 3.1. Do you understand? If your leverage is 50x, it will be 50 times 3.1, or 50 times whatever capital you are using already. Okay, so for the purpose of this video, my trading capital is 3.1, my leverage is 5x. So it is assumed that my total capital for this very trade, this long position, is 5 times 3.1, which is 15.5 US. Do you understand? So it means Binance borrowed me about 12.4. All right, about 12.4. Let me show you that. Let me show you something. All right, guys. So my trading capital is 3.1, right? Now I'm using 5S leverage, 3.1 times 5. So it is assumed that my trading capital is 15.5. All right. So, but originally my capital is 3.1. But since I'm using leverage of 5x, so I will multiply 5 by 3.1, I will get 15.5. So my total trading capital is assumed to be 15.5 USDT. So if your leverage is 20x, it will be 20 times 3.1. If your leverage is 15x, it will be 15 times 3.1, or 15 times whatever capital you have. Do you understand? So that being the case, it means Binance borrowed me. It means Binance borrowed me 15.5 minus 3.1. It means Binance borrowed me 12.4. That's the work of leverage. All right. So Binance borrowed me 12.4 USDT. The assumed total capital minus my original capital, all right, we give you 12.4. So Binance borrowed me 12.4. Now this 12.4 is as a result of me making use of the leverage 5x. All right, so Binance borrowed me 12.4 USDT. 12.4 USDT. Do you understand? So now, if I want to get rid of the liquidation price, let's go back to the futures tab. Let's go back to our Binance account, the futures tab. So Binance borrowed me 12.4. How? Because this 12.4 USDT is as a result of me making use of the leverage of 5x. All right, leverage of 5x. So Binance borrowed me 12.4. That's the work of leverage. All right, that's the work of leverage. It enlarges or makes your capital bigger. Okay. Now, if I want to get rid of this liquidation price here, this liquidation price, which is 0.064554. If I want to get rid of this liquidation price, pay attention. If I want to get rid of this liquidation price, I have to give back to Binance the 12.4 USDT they borrowed me. Do you understand? This is very important. This is very key. If I want to get rid of this liquidation price, that is, it will be wiped out completely. Zero. It will be non-existent. The liquidation price for this trade will be non-existent. If I want to do that, such that I can peacefully go and sleep without. Now let me say that again. If I want to get rid of this liquidation price, such that I will stop bothering myself about how far the trade has gone against my direction, all right, then in that case I will need to give back to Binance the amount they borrowed me as a result of me making use of leverage. Do you understand? My leverage is 5x. So Binance borrowed me 12.4 USDT. So if I should give that back to Binance, not that you are giving it back to them literally, okay? Not literally. But if I should give it back to them, meaning I will add it to my existing margin, all right, or to my existing capital. If I should add that 12.4 back to the to my margin, my existing margin, then in that case the liquidation price will become non-existent. It will be wiped out. All right, so if that happens, it means I can go to sleep, I can travel, I can do whatever I want without bothering myself about how far the trade has gone against my direction. You understand? Now, the reason why we make use of, like me personally, the reason why I try to wipe out my liquidation price, especially when I'm trading, especially in the long position, if I'm trading in the long position, all right, is because, first of all, I plan to stay in the trade for a longer period. All right. Now, why that is the case, I also make sure I set my multiple take profits. All right, in case when if maybe I'm not online and it starts going in my direction, okay, and the profit starts kicking in, then automatically the take profits will be executed one after the other depending on how I set them. All right. So 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 if you want to stay longer in a trade, or you want it in a way that you don't want to be bothered by maybe with the fear of the market price getting to your liquidation price, all right, then you will need to get rid of the liquidation price. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, let's make progress. So I will need to give back 12.4 USDT to Binance. Okay, I will add that to my existing margin or my existing capital. Do you understand? Remember what I said earlier on when I started? I said you need to make use of the isolated margin if your aim is to get rid of the liquidation price, to make it non-existent. You need to make use of what? The isolated margin, not the cross margin. All right, so now let's proceed. So I will add the 12.4 USDT. How will I do that? See how to do it. You click on this plus sign. Can you see this plus sign? You click on it. All right, so over here I will type in 12.4. okay, but what I will do is I will type in 12.5. Let me just make it a round figure. All right, now why immediately I type in that 12.5, keep your eyes here. This is the estimated liquidation price, 0.064554. all right, so immediately I type in that amount, 12.5, this estimated liquidation price will vanish. It will no longer be here. All right, it will no longer be here. It will become non-existent. Do you understand? So let me do that. 12.5. So it means I am adding additional 12.5 USDT, which was the amount Binance borrowed me as a result of me making use of leverage. Now the leverage in this case is 5x. all right, so can you see? Immediately I typed in 12.5, the liquidation price became non-existent. Is no longer there. Do you understand? So I will click on confirm. Can you see that? So can you see my margin initially was 3.1, right? My capital. So when I added the 12.5, it increased to 15.6, right? So over here, look at the liquidation price. The liquidation price now is non-existent. Okay, the liquidation price is non-existent. So at this point I can go to sleep without bothering myself or nursing fear, or being afraid of what if the trade goes against my direction in a way that it goes deep down. It goes far away from my direction. It goes against my direction in a very deep manner, such that the possibility of me getting liquidated cannot be denied. Do you understand? So in this case, I won't have such thoughts. I won't have it. I will go to sleep and sleep peacefully. Why? Because the liquidation price is non-existent. I have done something about the liquidation price. Okay, so this is how you beat the liquidation price in your futures trading, especially when you are taking a long position. When you are taking a long position, this is how you beat the liquidation price. This is how you make the liquidation price non-existent. Do you understand? So let's say, if what if this return on equity, okay, now becomes plus 12%, plus 12%. Does it mean my profit now will be 12% of 15.6? No. No, please pay attention. If whatever percentage this return on equity becomes, okay, I mean in profit now, okay, even if it's plus 50%, plus 70%, okay, it will not, my profit now will not be, let's say it turns out to become, let's say this place now turns out to become plus 70%. Plus 70%. It doesn't mean my total profit now will be 70% of 15.6. No, please don't forget this. My total profit will be 70% of my initial capital, which was 3.1. So it will be 70% of 3.1. Remember that the other 12.4 that was added was the borrowed funds that Binance gave me as a result of me making use of leverage. Now my leverage was 5x. Okay, my leverage was 5x. So I gave back to Binance the money they borrowed me, such that in a way to get the liquidation price to become non-existent. Do you understand? Do you get the explanation? So what it means in summary is, if you want to go with this idea of making your liquidation price non-existent, all right, the only thing that will happen is you will now have to spend more money. Okay, not like, I mean, literally you're going to add more money to your existing capital. You know, my existing capital was 3.1. So if I want to get rid of the liquidation price completely, like I did over here, all right, then in that case I will need to give back to Binance whatever amount that was borrowed me, which is dependent on my choosing leverage. Okay, so once you give them back that amount, how do you do that? You add that amount to your existing capital. Okay, you add it by clicking on this plus sign and just add it. Okay, so meaning you're going to be spending, you're going to need more margin to go with this idea. Okay, so you're going to need more margin. So if you don't have more equity, this idea can't really work for you. Okay, but if you have more equity, you can easily get rid of the liquidation price for any of your existing trade. Do you understand? So guys, that's all for now. Please, have you subscribed to the channel? Please, that's one way you can support me. You know, I make sure I dish out quality content, valuable content, rich content, something that you will watch. After watching it, you will grab one or two lessons. Okay, you will have a takeaway from watching my videos. So please, one way you can support me is by smashing on that subscribe button. Please, it's very important. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button. And if you want to support me further, you can like the video. All right, if this video is an eye opener to you, you can like the video and you can subscribe to the channel. All right, and thank you very much for doing that. So guys, that brings us to the end of this video. Okay, so if you have questions, drop it in the comment section. I will reply, or I will respond to your questions whenever I come online. All right, cheers guys.